Hey, so everybody, welcome to the workshop on LinkedIn. I'm not sure, do you see this thing that I'm moving around right now? Is it only visible to me or to everyone? Because I don't want it to be covering the information in the chat. Um, anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I do things, and you can, learn from it or leave it. It's completely up to you. If you have any other suggestions other than what I've included into this presentation, please post them in the chat and I'll be very happy to update it if I ever get to do this again. Okay, I'll try to skip to, okay. So for me, networking on LinkedIn starts with connecting with a person. I prefer meeting a person in person first before reaching out to them. And we'll talk about cold outreach as well later. But the first thing for me is when I go to a networking event, my goal with a networking event is not to just be there, it's to get leads to meet people one-on-one later. So how I do it is when I'm meeting with a person at an event and we're chatting and the conversation is going smoothly and I'm learning something about the person and I'm thinking, oh, I would love to continue talking to this person, I would ask them to scan my QR code. And why it's important is because when they scan your QR code, it means that you are the one who approves the connection. So what I do is I screenshot, and it says it here, I screenshot the QR code on LinkedIn, which is very easy to get. You just go to your LinkedIn interface on your phone and click on a search bar. It says here in quick steps, I'm just gonna do it on my phone to follow what I'm saying. So I click on a search bar and then a little square on the right side shows up. I would click on that, and I'm not sure if you can see me, but here's what the QR code looks like. I would screenshot it and I would set it as a lock screensaver on my phone. So lock screensaver is the one where you just turn on your phone. That's the one. So if I go to an event, I would have my QR code here. What it does is, first of all, it wouldn't be distracting for you to go into your phone and look for it. It will just be there as you turn on the phone. And we all know how being on the phone can be so annoying and so distracting. When we're trying to make a first impression, you better have it handy somewhere. And then you have the conversation, everything goes well, and you go, I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. You just get your phone out and you turn it on, it's there, and you ask them to scan it and then just turn it off and put it in your pocket. Do not do anything with it until you get home in the evening. And then in the evening, and it's important that it's done the same day while people still remember you. You need to remember that people have priorities, everybody has priorities, and you might not be that, right? But it is a priority for us to meet with those people. So we need to reach out to them while they still might remember us. And I would usually do this. I would go home, I would open up networks on LinkedIn to see whoever connected with me that night, and I would screenshot that because if I don't, I will forget everybody's names. And once you click approve, the names disappear. So what I do, I screenshot it, and then I send everybody a message. I click approve, 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 and then I send everybody a message, something like this. It was so nice to meet with you today. I really enjoyed our conversation. I'd really appreciate it if we could go for a coffee and I could ask you a few questions. I could go on and on about this. It's not really that kind of workshop. It's more about LinkedIn than networking. But the most important thing here is that you need to be polite. You need to understand boundaries and not cross them. You need to know that you cannot ask a person for a job if you don't know them. So your goal really with this is to build a relationship with a person and not to overwhelm them and to show that you don't understand kind of the basic manners. And we'll talk about it later too. So I really like this one. It's a meme from the internet. It's just that AI made it look a little better, but it's basically how in real life our job title will be something like, I'm a supervisor, but then on LinkedIn you actually want to brag about it more and you want to make it look so much nicer and to kind of show off all of your skills. So a supervisor Jane on LinkedIn would look like regional chief leader, solution evangelist, project manager, business guru, team guiding spirit and stuff like that. So I just wanted to kind of show you the lengths you can go with your LinkedIn, but also kind of keep it real too, you know what I mean? This on the left is not enough, like it's kind of boring. And your LinkedIn is your basically where people meet your brand for the first time, right? So you really want to demonstrate everything you want to impress people with. And LinkedIn headline and LinkedIn little bio is where you can do that. So if we look at the slide from the recruitment perspective, what they want to see on your profile when they go to your profile, they want it to look consistent. The picture needs to look good. It doesn't have to be like a professional picture, but it needs to be like well lit. You need to be dressed for that. I don't recommend posting something like a forest selfie or like a restaurant selfie. Like really just find a plain background and post a nice smiling picture. Like I said, doesn't have to be you don't have to go to like a studio or hire a professional for it. With AI right now, you can just um what's the word? I wanted to say Photoshop, but with AI, it's not really Photoshopping. Edit the photo to remove like wrinkles from your short or something. You know what I mean? Even like even out the lighting a little bit. You can do that with AI right now. So my profile picture, by the way, I took it at home on a couch in front of a window and then just asked AI to remove the background and like even out the lighting. That's it. So, from marketing perspective, you are your personal brand, whether you are representing a business or are representing your professional side of things. So you really want to be, you want your LinkedIn to represent that as well. So this is what it can look like. Like these are the things that you should look into when you are building your LinkedIn profile. First of all is the your LinkedIn URL. Usually by default, it looks like your Wi-Fi password, but you can customize it and it's very easy. It's just on the right side of your LinkedIn profile. If you go there, you'll see that there's literally a button for customization of that. And it's a free option. It doesn't come with a premium LinkedIn. So I put PM here because I consider myself project manager at times. So I did that. But it could be anything. It could be, I don't know, ESL teacher, because this is one of the things that I was trained to do. Or right now it's economic development officer. It's not really a recognizable name. That's why I didn't put it there. And it kind of includes a lot of things. So it could be like a program manager, or a project manager, or a PMP, or IT, I don't know, DevOps, or you get it, right? Like anything that has to do with your profession, but it's not too lengthy either. Then I already mentioned the profile picture, a LinkedIn headline. We're going to look into it deeper, I think, in the next slide. Um, in the section 3, like your little bio, make it look good. And you can also update it all the time. Like if things change, you can always change that. Nobody's really like following up to read your LinkedIn bio every other week, right? So you can really make it whatever you want. You can make it, maybe you got inspired by somebody else's and you had an idea and you want to update it, do it. Always do it. Keep updating it. The same goes for the headline. If you find better wording for things, always improve it. Why not? Nobody cares. You care. That's why you do things for yourself, right? So experience and skills. In general, I highly recommend following all the LinkedIn guidelines. So if it says for you to complete the profile, you need to fill out every little section, do that. Just sit down with it for 30 minutes and just complete everything it's asking you to do. What it's going to do, it's going to show your profile to other people. The better, the more completed the profile is, the better visibility it gets, basically. Okay, where's my here? So what the headline can look like. You can talk about the role that you are, either aspiring to do or are in right now, action and value that you're bringing in that role, and the impact for the audience that you are trying to help, right? So, and this can be good for businesses and this can be good for professionals as well. You can always look at it from this perspective and change it to whatever you're doing. And I'll show you a couple of examples. So here, an example could be something like digital marketing strategist. And I really like this vertical divider. I don't know what it's called, but that's how usually people do it on LinkedIn. Helping brands scale the data-driven campaigns. So basically the title and then the purpose, the impact to the audience. This is the LinkedIn banner, which is considered your like real estate, and not a lot of people are using it, but you can absolutely put something that makes sense for you, right? Sometimes it's like a picture at a huge conference, or maybe you got an award or something. It could go there, like you could make it, you could format it to that size somehow, add text to it, or you can just use something like this, like Canva template for gradient background. And here is a couple of examples. So Mark Pelletier, for instance, is the director of membership at the Chamber of Commerce. So he's using his background to promote Chamber of Commerce, right? Makes sense. Then Cindy Como, she owns a business and she does networking events for people. And her background, right, like at this screenshot, it's not happening right now. It's old, but here she's using it to promote the event that she's organizing, right? The event was in 2025. So every time she does an event, she would change this background to whatever is relevant to today. Or Eleanor Austin, for instance, her business is actually helping people with their LinkedIn profiles. So it's all about, her background is all about leveraging LinkedIn and LinkedIn profiles. She added this line of how I can be useful to you, right? And then Kevin Rogers is outstanding. In my opinion, he has the best background because obviously he attended one of our events and he used that picture to showcase it off of his LinkedIn, which helps us, the connection program, with visibility, and I'm super grateful to him. And look at his headline. It says, Training the Next Generation of Passionate Sales Professionals and Viral Marketers. And it really is what he does. By the way, I really, really love what he does because I went to speak to his students about networking. And one of them instantly became my client. So we met and I matched her and everything. And then I saw her the other day because now is the time of graduation. And she said, for us to pass in his class, we have to attend 5 networking events per semester, which is amazing. I think it really builds that foundation for future success. Okay, so what are we using the LinkedIn for? First of all, it has to be active. You need to be posting at least once a week. It's like the least thing you can do. I usually post daily. It doesn't always like have to be an original material. I actually don't have any time to post original material, and I absolutely hate posting myself in pictures, but it works. So if you are not shy about it, if you don't mind doing it, you absolutely need to be doing it. So anywhere you go, any event you're attending, or any one-on-one meeting you have, please always ask a person if they would be okay with taking a picture together and posting about it. So you need to ask for consent. And if they are okay with it, please post about it. That's your content. You need to be looking for content to stay relevant. Also, again, when recruiters are looking at your profile or your potential collaborators in business or your clients, they need to see that consistency. They need to see your style, the way you communicate. It can all be seen just from how often you post and what exactly you post. So that's your visibility engine. Also, when you post about people, you have to tag them. When you tag them, you appear on their feeds. So their people they're connected with see you as well, which is always good. Visibility is great. Another thing is whenever you're cold reaching people or you're like messaging an HR and they go to your profile to see who you are, when they see your face in photos with other people's faces that they know, it is like an instant social capital, social proof saying, you know, that person is here, they are decent, they are mannered, they're okay because this person already met with them, and the feedback is great because usually when you tag a person in the post, it prompts them to comment under that post, and they would say something nice. They would say something like, oh, it was my pleasure, right? Because your post would be a post of gratitude usually. And that message by them saying it was my pleasure or like best of luck in your job search and whatnot, that is kind of your social proof that everything went well. Nobody, I don't believe, nobody is going to post publicly and say, oh my God, I met with this awful person. They were horrible. Nobody's ever going to do that. If they don't comment, that's strange a little bit, right? They might not be like active on LinkedIn. They might have missed that tag and all, but usually people comment, and that is something you want to have on your LinkedIn. Um, monitor. So this is very important. Once you connect with somebody on LinkedIn, you need to immediately go to their profile and turn on the notification bell. Because if you don't, algorithm of any social media is weird. It may not show you what you want to see. A lot of times we miss opportunities because we didn't see the post. And it's weird how LinkedIn or any other social media platform pushes the post for you. I want to make sure that I don't miss the post from the people I care about, right? It could be like a recruiter, or it could be somebody I'm following for professional advice, or it could be something like, I don't know, PMINB, where it's a community of project managers. It's a project management association. I'm following their post because I care about what they post, because I eventually want to pass that exam. So anything you care about, turn on the bell. Every time somebody you care about posts, go to their profile and comment something nice. Maybe not every time, but a lot of times. Comment something nice. What it does is it brings you back into their lives. That's how you maintain the relationship with a person. They see your face, they see your name pop up, and they remember where they met you. That's kind of one of the ways to maintain relationship with a person. Okay, so cold outreach. I mentioned that I'm not a fan, but if I absolutely have to do it, this is how I would be doing it. I would always, if I'm not a native speaker of English, I would always check what I'm saying against AI. Now that that's given us this amazing opportunity to be more consistent with our language and to actually get advice from even artificial intelligence, doesn't really matter, on, is it nice enough? Or did I overdo it? Or I need to be professional but nice, or things like that. You know what I mean? So these are the reasons you kind of can message people you don't know. You can say something like, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. I noticed your experience in this role, and I'm very much interested into breaking into this field. I would really appreciate any guidance you can offer. And I actually go one step further. In the same message, I would say, I would really appreciate it if we could meet over coffee and I could ask you a few questions. That's my go-to phrase, okay? I ask everybody to meet with me online, in person, because the only way I find to build a relationship with a person is to actually meet with them one-on-one. So also my big advice is not to break these messages into tiny messages, and I will show you an example later. Here, I would also add that if you're cold reaching to a person, cold messaging them, and you're not connected on LinkedIn, there are things you should be aware of. I'll just jump. No, I don't think it's here. So when you are not connected with a person, the best way to connect with them is through personalized message. So you do not just send them a connect request and wait. They may never connect with you, because why would they? They don't know you. They don't know what you want from them. They may skip it and you will wait forever. The second thing, and it's later in the slides too, is that if you did that, you sent them a connect request and they're not approving it for days and weeks, when you revoke it, you're banned from connecting with that person for 2 weeks. So it's not like you can remind them about your connection, right? You can, like, it used to be like that. You could connect and then revoke and then right away connect again. So it would be like a new notification, but it doesn't work like that anymore. It's now you can't do that for 2 weeks. So instead, you can send a personalized message where instead of Connect Plus, it actually looks different on different menus. From your phone, it looks one way. From your computer, it looks another way. And also it depends on your settings. Usually it can look as personalized message, or sometimes you click Connect Plus and then a message pops up, send a note. Send a note or without a note. So always send a note. What you should know about that note is that it has limited not digits, limited amount of letters, symbols is the word I'm looking for. It has limited amount of symbols you can send. I think it's like 220 or something, 220 or 200, and which means it needs to be very specific and very concise. You can't really go, a whole paragraph there. And you can also only do it 5 times a month. So you need to be very, very specific and very strategic about who you are sending the notes to per month. So because you only have 5 with a free LinkedIn account. Okay, let's look at what I get sometimes. So on the left, exhibit 1, and it's from a long time ago. This was my connectee as well. He says, "Hey, Katerina, I stumbled upon your post, and let me tell you, it felt like finding an oasis in the middle of the LinkedIn desert. A place where people actually connect instead of just hitting like and disappearing into the abyss. Count me in." I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. When you love something, and that's my big message overall for everyone about networking in general, people help people they like. People open up to people they like. Not just anyone who messages, not just anyone who comes and shakes your hand, but people they actually like. And this person is a professional marketer. So there, he knew what he was doing and it worked on me. It was amazing. We had a great meeting. He then came to the Idea Center to meet the students at the Idea Center. And then we had an intake meeting and I connected him with somebody. So it was great, but it started off with this amazing kind of, he set the mood for this to be amazing. He wasn't pushy. He was very friendly and yet professional. And I knew what he wanted from me right away, right? As opposed to the person on the right. Like, look at this. This conversation is still going on. It started earlier than what the screenshot says. And I mean, I'm trying. You can't, you don't know what you don't know. That's the thing, number one. That's why I'm doing this workshop. But like, what am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with hello? And then I don't respond. Then he says good morning. Also, like, where's the where's the exclamation point or anything, right? Grammar, punctuation. Where's that? I'm a nerd. I like those things. Like, I want them in the messaging because it's also professional, right? It's also professional. So I'm finally responding. I'm like, good morning. How are you? Again, where's our punctuation? I hope you're doing well. Okay, great. I'm great. How can I help? And this is where I'm being proactive, okay? I could have just ignored it from the very beginning. And I know a lot of people do because nobody has time for this. I do this. I always respond to all the messages because I know people need that guidance. So I actually was very harsh with him at the end. I was like, listen, you can't do it like this. You should do it like this and that. Read this book, read that book, and stuff like that. But it's not, I'm direct. I'm a very direct person. So I don't mind doing that. But it is extremely uncomfortable even for me. And I know a lot of people are never going to do that because why would they put themselves into this uncomfortable position, right? So you're an adult. You need to learn to do these things. If you don't know how to address a person, ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT, how do I message a person I don't know on LinkedIn professionally to introduce myself? Ask, always ask. Don't just do this. So I'm a new immigrant looking for job opportunities. Great. I don't really have any jobs, right? And it's very clear what I do on my page. So I just mentioned that sometimes I post opportunities on my page. You're welcome to follow me because I always try to post when I see a job opportunity because I know a lot of job seekers are following me on LinkedIn. Then this came later. Same, like that conversation never went anywhere. For all my harsh, brutally honest advice, I don't think he ever thanked me to, but it's like, whatever. So later on, he messages me again. Hello, good morning. Um, Not getting something jobs to survive. And besides the wording, it's none of my business. And I'm an extremely compassionate person, I'll tell you that. And people who know me, they know that. But you do not put your drama into the professional situations because all it brings is somehow it's like people want to stay away from it when your goal is to get people to like you, right? So being desperate overall, like demonstrating desperation, is not going to bring you success. You need to find another way. And another way, you can't be in a desperate, all of us sometimes are in desperate situations. I've been in a lot of very bad situations in my life, but not very bad, but bad. Um, the way you approach it and when you demonstrate resilience, right? There are ways you can say things like, I came here 4 months ago. I can't find a job. I'm sending out resumes. Nobody's responding to me. Moncton is awful. People are horrible. I should not have come to Canada. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is I've been here for 4 months. I've been sending out resumes. I've been trying, reading, reaching out to people, attending events. What am I missing? What am I doing wrong? I would really appreciate any guidance and any advice. Completely different messaging. And now there is a conversation to be had, right? I could be like, okay, how about this? Did you try this? Did you try that? So please, language, communication are the most important skills that you have. The most important thing. You can be the most amazing professional, but if you can't put the two words together and get the person to listen to you and to be open to talking to you, all of that is useless. So I actually had AI to like um, kind of diagnose this. So on the left, I know it switched places, but like what Shabnam had was he had a hook, right? And he was very nice, and he was super enthusiastic, and I was enthusiastic in my response as well. And then here, it was very generic. He is really talking only about himself, vague desperation. He's not also asking for anything. He could have asked for advice, right? But he's not asking for anything. You can always ask questions and you can always ask advice. You do not ask for jobs unless the person is an HR, or you do not ask for referrals unless the person knows you. At least that's my rule, and I may be wrong there, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't ask a person I don't know for a referral. I prefer to build a relationship first, but some people do that. um, Listen to everyone and then do what works for you. Okay, this is my personal opinions. So what do you do after? I'm gonna jump back to you went to the networking event, you talked to a person, you connected with them on LinkedIn, you then send them a message and ask them to connect with you. Remember, in the beginning I said it was so nice to meet with you. I really enjoyed our conversation about this and that. I would really appreciate it if we could connect over coffee, or like if we could meet over coffee and I could ask you a few questions. What happens next? There's a couple of scenarios. So they can say, yes, absolutely. Here are some options when we can meet. Or you can say, amazing, thank you so much. When and where would you like to meet? So you need to remember that you are leading that conversation because it's for you. It's not for them. You need that meeting. They don't need that meeting. You need that meeting. So it's your priority, which means that you need to accommodate by time and schedule. And that it means that you need to lead that conversation. So you can say something like, where and when would you like to meet? They will give you a few options, and then you say, um, amazing, I'm really grateful and very excited to meet with you. Could you please share your email with me so I can send you a calendar invite? First of all, that's how you get their email if it's not publicly available. And second of all, when you put things into people's calendars, they tend to happen, right? Like you want to make sure it's in their calendar. And if you don't know how to use an email calendar, an online calendar, it could be Google Calendar, you need to learn that because there's no office work without knowing how to use a calendar. And by the way, with connectees, a lot of times what happens is we send out invitations to a calendar, and then a lot of times people do not accept it. And that's bad because when you don't accept it, it's not in your calendar. You always want to accept things you don't want to miss. And then, there's frustration. Like if it's not in your calendar, you're not going anywhere. You need to start using your calendar actually daily to not miss things. So, and after that, you say, thank you. I'll see you on Thursday, whatever. And then you're going for a coffee. I also get a question a lot about who buys the coffee. And one person was very, very much surprised that you can offer to buy the coffee to the person you're meeting with because, it's Canada. Everybody's paying for themselves. Yes, when they're dating, but not when you want something from the person and you invite them and you want their time basically and you want their expertise. It's just a small gesture of gratitude to offer to pay for their coffee, and it's normal. Like it's normal, it's so normal. I always do. They don't always accept it, and I won't push it if they don't accept it because it then becomes a messy conversation that nobody has time or energy for. but I would always offer to buy a coffee to somebody I care about meeting with when it's for me personally, right? Like I would always do it. Um, Another scenario is they say something to your message of, can we please go and meet over coffee? They can say something, yeah, sure, and then you never hear back. That happens a lot, unfortunately. Well, maybe not a lot, but there is some percentage. And from my personal experience and from my personal research as an immigrant to Canada, right, it is in Canadian culture that it is much easier to say yes and not to make the person feel bad than to say no. So what they do a lot is they unfortunately would agree with you and then disappear. And then they would say no and you feel bad about it. In my culture, it doesn't work like that. Like I would say no and I would say why it's a no today. And I don't know, maybe I'll be like polite and open the door for later, but at least I will not give the person like the hope for something. And I don't know. It's just a different culture. I'm preparing you for what I've learned here. So when that happens, I encourage you not to take anything personally. It absolutely is not because you are a newcomer. It's absolutely not because you are a job seeker. It's absolutely not anything racial. It's nothing personal. Because the down thing is that the basic thing is that everybody has a life and everybody has a priority, and their priority, maybe they are in the middle of something extremely busy at work. Maybe they have family issues. Maybe they have four kids and a lot of hockey, and it's just not in, they just don't have time for you right now. So just don't focus on, oh my God, they said no to me. What am I gonna do now? Like they rejected me basically, and we know they're not gonna actually say no, but just move on. There is enough people for everyone. Just move on. Don't focus on that. And then actually, sometimes the person weeks later, they would be like, oh, sorry, forgot to respond to you and whatnot. Like, yeah, I'm open for it. Here's my calendar. Like a lot of times people actually have like booking links in their calendar. You can get one too. It makes it very easy to schedule the time. You don't have to like, check both calendars all the time. It's very easy. I highly recommend doing it. It's just that when it comes from a person you need to meet with, it's better because it's kind of they're in control of their time more, and you want to give them that control because they're doing you a favor by meeting with you. But overall, move on to the next person. There is enough. Okay. And then what happens next? You've had a successful meeting. It went amazing. And um, you connected, you got responses to the questions you really cared about. And a whole another workshop is about how you have to be prepared for that meeting. You can't just come and be like, so what do you do? You must know what they do if you ask them to meet with you. So you do your research. I'm not going to go into detail here because it's kind of like a different workshop. Anyway, what happens next is you post about it. If they agree to take a picture with you, you post about it on LinkedIn, you tag them and you say how amazing the meeting was, and you say something like something that actually opened up your eyes in that meeting. Be genuine. Like I never encourage anybody to lie. If it didn't go well, don't post about it. Like you don't have to lie about anything, right? And people can tell when it's fake and people can tell when it's real. So try to say something nice, genuine, and just be grateful. Being publicly grateful is amazing. Being privately grateful is amazing. My message is gratitude will really go a long way if you exercise it. It's really important that you say thank you for everything. And I'll give you one example. This happened yesterday, literally. I got a message from my friend who is leaving her job, and she is a seamstress, and she's like, do you know any other seamstresses? And it's such a rare profession these days. I only know one. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know that girl, let me message her. And she's like, no, I already messaged her, and the only thing she asked me back, the only thing she responded to me was, how much are they paying? And she was like, oh my God, like it's so unprofessional to only ask about how much they're paying. And I understand a lot of people are, in very desperate situations, and like a lot of times they do really only care about the money because of the restraints they're in and the hardships they're in. So I tried to explain it to her, and she's like, she didn't even say thank you that I even thought about her, that I offered her a job. And that's a big thing. The first thing she was supposed to say was, "Thank you so much for thinking of me," and then ask whatever questions. So the only thing she asked was the money. She didn't even respond anything else besides that. So let's not be like that. If we want people to think about us when there is an opportunity, we need to demonstrate gratitude. So we thank them in the meeting. We then thank them in a public post on LinkedIn if they agree to it. And then 24 hours later, you send them a thank you email. Actually, it says message here, but I prefer email because with email you can have a subject that says thank you. And when they have their like work day and whatnot, they go to their email. I'm just describing how I feel when I receive it, okay? And then I see an email that says thank you in the subject. I open it up all excited to see like how they're, how I made a difference in someone's life. I care about it. And they say, "Oh my God, this meeting was so amazing. You really like enlightened me about whatever." And it cannot be the same thing you've already said in the post, right? Like it can be another insight. Like I usually recommend saying something like, "I've reflected on our conversation. I've been thinking about it the entire evening and whatnot, like, and I realized that this and that, and that's nice. That's always nice to hear. You remember, you're building a relationship with a person. You want them to feel good about you. You want them to like you. So these things make them like you, because when they see that, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this person is so nice." That's exactly what you want, the feelings that you want. So that's 24 hours. And then you want to stay in touch, but you don't want to be annoying. So in the meeting, if they recommended you anything like practical, like read that book or go to that workshop or attend that event, you can email them back or message them back after you've done it, right? After you finish the book or watch the webinar or did something, again, to just stay relevant, to stay in touch. And you just, again, you say, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know I finished that book. I really am so grateful to you. It was so insightful. Hope you're having a great day." That's it. That's it. And then later on, if the conversation was about like employment and stuff, and you actually found a job, update them. They will appreciate it. They will like to know that things are going well for you, right? So just let them know, "I wanted to share big news with you. I got a job there, blah, blah, blah. You really helped me, even though you may not realize it or something." Like it's always sounds good, always keeps that relationship going. Another thing, there is a fine line between being annoying and being in touch, right? So don't be annoying, but you can maybe send something relevant to them. Like if you saw an opportunity for them, or maybe like again a networking event or any sort of like workshop, like a webinar or something, you can message them and say something like, "I saw this and I thought about you. I hope your day is going great." Right? That's it. You don't need to be like, I don't know, trying to become their best friend. It's not, it may not be possible, right? Because people already have established lives and everything. Everything is new for us immigrants, and we need these connections and all. But for locals, you need to understand that they have like lives with parents and grandparents and somebody in the nursing home and somebody in hockey and somebody in daycare. Like it's a whole, remember your life where you were. You were busy too, extremely busy, probably. So we're coming to an end of it, I guess. We will have some time for the questions. Where you can connect with people, or what kind of people you should connect. I brainstormed a little bit. If you went to school here, like you went to Crandall or NBCC, and you see people on LinkedIn that have like Crandall or NBCC in their profiles, always reach out to them. Alumni are the most open people probably to being reached out to. Then obviously your professors and mentors. And mentors here, I don't know about you, in my country, mentorship is not really a thing. Like nobody calls anybody a mentor, really. At least I never came across that. Here it's very common. And I know people who are in their 60s and they still have mentors, more than one. So you can always try and find a mentor. It starts with building a friendly relationship, right? Who else? All kinds of colleagues, all kinds of people you're meeting at the like ex-colleagues. Like if you leave a job, you don't have to be enemies with people, right? You should stay in touch. Um, you never know where life brings you or them. I've worked at my previous job, like most of the people don't work at that job anymore. And now we're still in the same ecosystem and we still collaborate and network with each other. Like you're never really like New Brunswick is so small. You never really leave it, right? Like whatever job you're doing, you're probably interacting with other people or even at networking events. So stay in touch. Also, if you are studying right now, your classmates, build a relationship with them. Go one-on-one coffee with them just to talk about, what was their background? What are their plans? It's all about those relationships. And it's much easier to build a relationship with somebody you're at the same level with today. And you never know where they're going to be in 6 months or 6 years. You really want to build relationships, like really good professional relationships with everyone. The more, the better. Um, it says here the tribe. So members of the industry could be like professional associations. Like I mentioned PMI and B, for instance, that's for project managers. And a lot of project managers work in like construction and IT. So it's a really kind of rich field of in the variety of industries that it represents. Or CPHR is a great group, or Construction Association, I think. I'm not sure if I don't think they have like individual members. I think it's all businesses. But they do have some networking events. CPA, like all kinds of professional associations, organizations, and even what are they called? Like unions. All of that is your crowd. It's your tribe. So build relationships with them too. Volunteering is extremely important. I think volunteering is the most accessible and amazing way to build relationships with people, actually, to build your networks. Hobby groups, like a lot of people go and do like samba or what is it called? The I'm not gonna remember that, but it's like people are dancing, but it is a workout. Also Brazilian, I just can't remember it. Awesome. I know a lot of people who do that. Um, any kind of hobby like painting, anything, network anywhere and everywhere. Cultural, so ethnocultural groups or art related things or music related things, network everywhere. The aspirational. So you can always reach out to people that you admire, always. Don't feel like you're not worth their time. If you make it worth their time, you are worth their time. And that is my personal conclusion to how Canadian society works is basically, and I really love this model. I think every society should work like that. So because people grow up with this support outside them, like the mentorships and the school support system, adults usually come to school and talk about their professional things and like it's everywhere in the universities, like internships, co-ops get you exposed to all these opportunities and to all these people who are happy to mentor you. So at some point in your life, you feel like, okay, now I can pass the knowledge and mentor somebody too. So that's kind of how why they would meet with you. That's exactly why they would meet with you. But you need to come prepared. You can't waste their time. You need to come prepared with the questions. You need to do your research about them. They need to understand that you know what you're doing and you just need a little bit of a push. And a good advice sometimes is that push. Or maybe the meeting went so well that they naturally, genuinely want to refer you somewhere. That's your goal. You want people to say your name at the right place at the right time. And LinkedIn is just a tool to make it possible. Make make use of it. Fill it out to the full. Post regularly. Post pictures with people other people know. Be present. The content of your LinkedIn should be your professional content. Like you want to demonstrate that you know your stuff, right? So it could be like professional articles or reflections on professional articles. Or something you discovered in New Brunswick, like you've attended a professional event and you're like, oh, I didn't know there was a chapter for this. And maybe other newcomers that are connected with you will learn something. So there will be some engagement. The more engagement there is, the more visibility you get. The more visibility you get, the more opportunities you get. So use that. I just want to encourage you to use every opportunity you have. And I mentioned that I wouldn't message people on LinkedIn and be like, hey, do you have a job for me? I would never do that unless this person is hiring. and they've posted a position. So what I would do is I would go and apply online, and then I would go back and message them and say, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm this kind of professional, blah, blah, blah. I'm new to Canada. I saw that you posted a job opening. I just wanted to let you know that I've applied for it. And I would really appreciate a chance to have my resume viewed. And you would attach your resume there as well. But you also need to apply always. You also need to always apply. And this is kind of just a wrap up of it's all about consistency. It's all about how you present yourself, about your brand, your digital brand, because you may be one person in with your family, you may be another person with your ethnic group, which I am. I know it's completely different. And then you have your alter ego for your professional life, and LinkedIn is where you build that reputation and you build that brand. I guess that's it. So, any questions? This is the time to turn on the cameras. If you're comfortable with it, I would really appreciate looking at some face finally, because I've been looking at the presentation, speaking into the air. Oh, Zumba. Yes, absolutely. Okay, let me go through the comments. Okay. 3 Kates here today. Yay. Okay, awesome. Yes, grammar, please. I mean, there is AI to correct it nowadays. Kate, you're doing him a big favor and valued lessons. Yeah. Yes, okay. Um, One person who applied for a job with me said he got rejected by 500 companies and he said he needs money badly. I'm sorry, but I don't hire this attitude. Companies hire people because people solve companies' problems. Nobody is hiring a person because the person is desperately needing money. That needs to be very clear. You need to really understand that you need to demonstrate that you will be able to do the job, that you will be doing the job really well, and that your personal struggles need to be personal. Keep it to your friends, but do not put it out there professionally, because it is going to ruin everything for you. So solve companies' problems, even on your professional summary on your resume. When we used to do professional objectives, now which was I need a job, basically, right? People would say, looking for a job in this industry. That's not why companies are hiring. Companies are hiring because you're solving their problems. So find out what their problem is, do your research, and then put that into your resume, put that into your headline, put that into your messaging. That's why they will hire you, not because you need money. Everybody needs money. Okay. That you are aligned with the culture and goal. Okay. Right. Any questions? Anybody wants to just go ahead, like raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask something. Or reflections. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I'm open for criticism too. Everything I said here today comes from personal experience, so it might not be the same as yours. Yeah, go ahead. Or are you able to unmute yourself, or is it me?
Hi, Katerina.
Yay. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, thank you. I love your presentation. Loved, like I learned so much that you prepared this presentation, and I screenshot the last one. It's like you said, like don't worry, don't think you don't deserve their time. Like I was like, would they even look at me? I'm like, they are such an expertise. They must be super busy, but like you just explained the Canadian culture that people grew up with the mentor system. So now I'm just going to shamelessly tell everyone I admire, can I have a connection? I want to learn this and this from you. And thank you, Kate. Can you tell me like maybe some experience you had with your mentors, like somebody you admire and they gave you their expertise, even you were strangers before?
Oh, just yesterday, I actually attended a workshop after work, and there it was all about like talking to other people, and somebody said something I never thought about, and that is way more valuable than them getting me an opportunity of any sorts, right? They completely changed how I looked at my idea. And the same happened to another person where I shared my idea about her idea. And she was like, oh my God, I never thought about it that way. That's the whole point. You want to talk to people and you want to learn from them because you never know who you're going to meet, how those people are going to change your life, or what they're going to say that will completely change your perspective on things. Just be open-minded about it and be open to those ideas and to those opinions, and it will definitely help.
Thank you so much, Katerina. And yes,
You're very welcome.
thank you. That everything you mentioned, it's like I would like to like go through this again. Do you have recording or
Yeah, this is being recorded right now.
how can we see it again, the recording?
Um, I'm going to ask, I'm actually going to stop recording. I'm going to ask, sorry, stop recording. I'm going to ask our team